What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Mario Kart Tour, because this mobile trash has finally come out, and honestly, it is way worse than I even could have imagined. Now let's just face it, a lot of cell phone games are kinda just garbage in general. They're not made to be good, they're made to make cash. This game is definitely a really bad microtransaction-filled mess, but more than that, I actually believe that this thing lies to you in certain aspects. Now let me just talk about something right up front. This is ultra easy mode. I mean, just the app in general. Here I am, I'm actually in second place right now, completely stomping the competition, and I'm not even touching the screen. That's because this game doesn't really care about if you win or if you lose. It's all about those microtransactions, about trying to make sure that you're constantly incentivized to buy. That's all these apps exist for. But more than that, I'm actually aggravated by the fact that this game doesn't even manage to be fun. Graphically, it is impressive. This is a technical marvel. I think that they managed to take at least certain parts of the Mario Kart universe and put them in a decent package. But my issue is that this game sucks. Now let me talk a little bit about actually how this works, how you can pay to win, and why I think that parts of this are a flat-out scam. Let's begin by talking about the biggest lie of all, which is the fact that this game perpetually likes to pretend that it is multiplayer. In fact, some of the press releases even talk about the fact that it'll be multiplayer. When you're going around the track, every other person has an actual username. When you first turn the game on, you log into your Nintendo account, so it has access to all your stuff, well, all your information, all your Nintendo screen names and stuff. And when you're racing around the track, the other karts have the names of those people. But here's the thing, you're not actually racing them. This is a single player app. I mean, officially, if you actually read the fine print, this is a big trick. The entire point of this is actually to incentivize you to continue playing. It's not about actually making it where you're getting a full experience, it's about tricking you into thinking you're winning. It does this in a lot of ways, but here's one of them. A lot of times, even if you come in last place, like I just did in this race here, you still get a lot of experience points and the maximum reward. And it does this because it wants you to keep trying to play to the later tracks. The farther you get, the more you're going to actually unlock. The deeper you get into this game, the harder the tracks get and the more difficult this AI becomes. And the only way to actually keep up is by purchasing better vehicles. Now, this is all based on a very common system that actually makes billions of dollars over in Japan called gacha. Basically, almost every single cell phone game now basically tries to have these randomized loot crates, but they go a little bit beyond just being crappy microtransactions and being very predatory in nature, which is that inside of our brain we have this little section that actually lights up when we feel rewarded. It actually kind of flickers to tell you that you're doing a good job. And these gacha systems try to stimulate that by making it where whenever you're opening one of these loot crates and getting random prizes, it feels like a reward even if you're just paying to win. And basically the way this does it is with the pipe system. The magic pipe. Now you can get some coins here and there by just winning races and getting further in the game itself, but the main way you actually get these is by spending money. Now the problem is, inside of this pipe is actual upgrades. Certain racers are better, certain karts are better at drifting, certain things are going to make you way better around the track. I mean, if you actually spend the most amount of money and get the strongest vehicles and the strongest opportunities to really excel, you can literally beat this game without touching the screen. This is literally the most clear definition of pay to win. Now, part of the reason this really upsets me is because I do love Mario Kart. Specifically, Mario Kart 8 is so freaking sharp. It has 64 tracks, it's got multiplayer modes galore, and it's got great online play. But more than that, it's actually a game that cares about how you play it. Mario Kart 8 was filled with so many different items and cool stuff, but I think that it really kind of just exemplifies the fact that this really just kind of exemplified what makes Mario Kart great. The entire saga is basically establishing rules and following through, giving you gadgets, blowing people up, having different items that can be counters of each other. That is what's good. This crappy cell phone game is none of that. Now, the thing that actually makes me the most annoyed, by far, is that it has a monthly fee. Now they consider it optional, but there's definitely a lot of stuff behind the paywall. Basically, if you choose to pay $4.99 a month, you get better vehicles, you can also get stuff like the hardest difficulty, and it seems like you're going to get unlocks easier. Okay, so very clearly, even Nintendo knows that this is a big scam. Look how long the list of literal legal warnings are for the season pass. That is insanity. You are paying to win in a single player app. Now, I do truly believe that this would be a much more forgivable mess if at least it was fun itself. I mean, a lot of times gamers are willing to put up with some pretty crazy gimmicks as long as the game itself is just enjoyable to pick up and experience, but this isn't. Drifting, trying to just time that next jump, using these different items and seeing some of the new upgrades, I mean, none of this is actually enjoyable, and that's part of the issue. A lot of times, games themselves just need to be fun in order for us to get emotionally invested in them, and sometimes even financially invested in them. Think about all the games that people have played, despite the fact that they have some major flaws, just because they enjoy the moment-to-moment action. The fact that they weren't able to get this, even right in any regard, is such a clear testament that perhaps Nintendo themselves even realized that this wasn't a good idea. I'm not sure who even made this, because it doesn't seem like it was made internally. It's just so cobbled together. It's pretty clear that this game is catering to an exact demographic, and it's not hardcore gamers. Instead, it's towards the people that are very perpetually stuck on mobile games. The people who are actually very easily addicted to opening that next box and buying that next microtransaction. There have been some articles recently of some dudes spending like $30,000 a month on microtransactions, and Nintendo realizes that that money is worth more than actually making a good game. Maybe you've heard this number, but half of all the money that's made now in all of gaming is microtransactions on mobile devices. It's not about big games, it's not about selling really good hardware like the Switch Lite. The big moneymaker is actually getting poor soccer moms actually addicted to your game. I mean, literally, middle-aged women spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month on things like Candy Crush, and Nintendo has realized that that's an easy demographic. I'm actually a little bit ashamed because they could have made Mario Kart Tour a good game, but they just didn't bother because they don't need to. They know that players like me and you are going to install the game, try it out, and go, not for me, and move on. But the people who get addicted to stuff are going to keep playing. They're going to think they're winning. They're going to think, man, I'm beating all these gamers around the track. When, quite frankly, that is just not true. It's just getting to the point where you absolutely should not trust anything on cell phones. I mean, even the Final Fantasy games are totally trash. Like that stupid A New Empire thing, the Final Fantasy 15 kingdom building game, that is garbage. Even Nintendo. Nintendo knows how to make great games. They know how to actually greenlight the projects that are going to be the most fun and big and interesting and, well, worth the price tag. This, though, makes them buku bucks. They don't care. I guess that I'm just in this place now where I hate that anybody defends this. Now, let me just be very, very clear in kind of rage mode just for a second. People are going to defend this game and go, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. This is where all gaming is kind of going. This stuff makes so much money. I wouldn't be shocked if this game ends up making $1 billion. Mario Kart 9 is only going to be on cell phones. If Mario Kart Run had been a huge success, I do think that we would have seen a lot more big, cool games that were just pay one price, enjoy them forever. But it flopped, and now Nintendo's realized that they can walk down this path. God, it just frustrates me because I want games to keep getting better. And for the most part, it seems like they were. We're getting better systems, we're getting better combat, we're getting better graphics. And then there's this other evil creeping dark over in the corner that just keeps getting worse. Well, these have just been my random off-the-cuff thoughts about Mario Kart Tour because I hate it. What do you think of it? Have you been dumb enough to install it like I was? Or are you somebody that just decides that everything on a cell phone is not worth the time? Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.